Hello my lovelies, good morning. I hope that you are all well. I haven't done an outside oracle for a little while because of the weather mainly, but today is just so glorious and I'm out walking a little dog and just enjoying this fabulous weather and the extraordinary views. It's the 24th of February, it's Sunday, and it's so warm. It's absolutely stunning. So I'll show you my little friend who's called Mitch. He's 16 and he's a little Jack Russell and he's staying with me for the weekend, so we'll see what messages want to come through for you guys as we tootle along the coastal path. Ooh, there's a couple lot of this. Oh, fabulous. It's still, it's warm, there's bird song. In the distance you can hear the waves on the shore. And there's just this lovely sense of tranquility. Can't believe it's still February. But this is Devon, so we get it a bit warmer down here before everybody else does. Now this is my little friend Mitch. Keep going, sweetie, go on. And although he's 16, he can walk 10 miles, can't you, darling? Yeah. Yeah. He's got one tooth in his head and he's not got very good eyesight. He's still got a jolly good nose. There he goes. Ooh. So I wanted to talk to you today about gratitude. I've been given a nudge to do so. And it's a subject that's come up quite a lot with many of my clients. Is when we have wants and needs and you're longing for certain things in your life, like a new relationship or a new job or a new home. Depending where you are coming from when you're asking for this change in your life, when we ask for things, you're acknowledging that you haven't got it yet. So there's a sense of lack. And the way that the universe works is if you have a sense of lack entangled with your asking, then what you're asking for isn't going to show up. So the way the law of attraction works is when you show an attitude of gratitude and thankfulness that what you're asking for is already here, and believing that it's already here, that's when it can show up. So by this I mean everything is energy. Every single thing in the cosmos, in the universe, is energy. Nothing's negative, nothing's positive, it's just energy. And the way that we use it, if we just use our minds, then there's always that sense of doubt. and also the programming that we have and the patterns that we have in our lives can be the blocks to manifestation. So when we come from the field of the heart, and you've heard about the field of medicine and the field of sport, so whatever energy you give to specific fields will enhance and enlarge that field, whether you're thinking about it in the negative or the positive. So the field of the heart is to do with emotions and feelings. And you may have heard the phrase, putting their heart and soul into something, or he only did it half-heartedly. Whereas if we do it wholeheartedly, you're then guaranteed a positive reaction to what you've asked for. And for some of us, it's very difficult to get out of our heads because we're running old programs all the time, and because you may have had disappointments in the past. Oh, well, when I did it that way, I didn't get very good results. And when I did it that way, nothing happened. So this is about changing your mind. And a quote from Einstein, Albert Einstein. And he said that insanity is trying to do the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. And a lot of that is coming just from the mind. Whereas if we drop down into the field of the heart, that's a very different energy. And the heart is a muscle, and it is completely different to any other organ in the body. Its cells are totally, totally different to any other organ in the body. And it is electromagnetic. So it's a receiver and it's a transmitter. So when we're feeling heart sore, heart broken, heart weary, the energies to do with the heart on an emotional level we find can be dictated by our mind, so what we think about things. So if you've had difficulties with relationships or with your work and career, you may find that you leave a job or you leave a relationship and you move into another one, but because you're running the same patterns, the same thing will happen again and again and again. So by witnessing and acknowledging the negative patterns and seeing how they no longer serve you, they can be deleted. And so as you are contemplating a new move, a new job, a new career, a new relationship, this time attempt to work with the heart energy, the field of the heart. Now you may say, well, how on earth do I do that? So a good little tip can be that you imagine that you're swallowing a marble. So the energy from your mind drops down into the field of the heart. Now a marble is a colourful piece of glass. So if you imagine it's full of all the colours of the rainbow, and as it drops down into the heart energy, it is lit up, it becomes ignited. It doesn't melt, but it's like a prism, so all of these fabulous colours are shot through and shoots out from your heart centre. So you've opened up your heart, you've activated that field of the heart, and all those fabulous colours. And we know that the colour associated with the heart, or the heart chakra, is green. And then above that, and before you get to the throat energy, the blue throat energy, is what we call the higher heart. And that's all about unconditional love. And the colour associated with that is pink. So as you're working through your emotional issues, and don't cling to them, because again that's running the old program, but if you imagine after having swallowed this beautiful colourful marble, which then ignites all these fabulous colours and the energy of your heart, imagine it's pulsating, so you can see the 4 chambers of the heart doing their thing. And when you listen to the heartbeat, ba-boom, 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 there are spaces in between those beats. So we tend to think that it's a pause or that nothing's happening. But actually it's like breathing in and breathing out. And as you're breathing in that cosmic energy, and breathing in those colours. And when we breathe in colours, it brings a balance to our whole system, to our whole being. And when we look at nature, the dominant colour is green. So Mother Earth is showing us the heart energy, love energy, constantly. But if we only breathe in one colour in our lives, or only focus on one colour, one part of the spectrum, it doesn't allow for the other colours to come in and balance things out. And that sense of joy. An example of this, a member of my family only ever wore green. everything that he had in his wardrobe was green. Now you might think, oh, that's great, that's heart energy. However, the underlying reason for this was that he had lost his family in the Holocaust in Germany during the Second World War. And because he had survived, he had this terrible guilt of being a survivor. And so he was forever looking for love in other areas of his life, because it had been ripped away from him. Another example, a client of mine only ever wore black, undies as well. And she'd had some quite traumatic issues in her life. Now, black is to do with control. So historically, black was only worn by nuns, by priests, by those in mourning. It's worn as a school uniform. And with the clergy wearing black, it is about control. So they would wear a belt at their middles, and that denoted that above the waist and below the waist were two totally different energies, and never the twain should meet. And then in the 1920s, a French lady called Coco Chanel designed the little black dress. And so it became more of a fashion statement for people outside of the clergy and those in mourning, etc. And when people were in mourning, they had to wear black for a whole year. Now we find people wear black to the detriment of any other colour. And so this client of mine, I pointed this out to her about control. So in a way she was trying to control her life, but in doing that she was not letting joy in, she was not letting fun and laughter and happiness in. And as I worked with her over a few months, I'd suggested she introduce some colour into her wardrobe, and I said, even if you don't feel you could wear it externally, perhaps colourful undies and or a necklace. But another good way of introducing colour is to have it around you, say with flowers. Also what you eat. So I suggested to her that she ate orange food, because the colour orange is to do with the joy of living. So carrots and oranges, swede, pumpkin, that sort of thing. And so whichever part of you needs to be invigorated and have energy ignited. When you do this exercise with the marble, swallowing the marble, follow it, see where it goes, see which colour dominates, and see where the colours actually go in your body, and when they leave your body, where do they go? So if it's shooting out of your heart, what colours are you sending out there? So to begin with, I was talking about gratitude and the law of attraction. So today I'm sitting on a bench overlooking the sea on this fabulous, fabulous, can't even call it spring day because it's not even spring yet. But I'm so thankful, I'm so grateful for this fabulous scene. From the heat from the sun, the light from the sun, the life-giving energy from the sun. Having this dear little fur baby with me today. And I know from my own experience. Oh, there's a pheasant coming this way. Oh, 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 oh. Now that's interesting that things pop up. He's just going to pop up. It's gone behind that little mound there, but he'll probably show up. The pheasant is to do with the dance of life, the joy of living, funnily enough. Here he is. Maybe we can zoom in. Here he is in the distance. He's just walking down the path there. Now it's interesting when things show up. So you may have heard me say in the past, when something comes in from the left, it's leaving your life. When something comes in from the right, it's entering your life. So for me, that's something coming in from the left but is going straight ahead. So you might think, oh, something joyful is leaving Amanda's life. For me, this is about a lack of joy that I might have had, where I focus my energies on something, a pattern that no longer serves me. So there we see now a little dog showing up. Ooh. There we are, little black dog. So as one animal leaves, another one shows up. So dog energy is friendship, it's loyalty, and it's a young dog, so it's fun. It's young friends, young energy, enjoyment, fulfillment. So I'm grateful for that. And in my studies along the way, I've been taught to notice what I notice. So you notice something, but you may not pay attention to it. But when you notice what you notice, it's always a sign, a message from the universe. And when you notice what you notice and you pay attention to it, I think, okay, I've been asking for something. So a message shows up, or an omen shows up, to say it's on its way. And I heard a little story this morning. A lady had lost practically everything in her life, and she had to start again. And she said, I want a new home. I want it to be in this particular area. and I'd like to have a dog, and I'd like to have a cat, and the dog has to be this sort, and the cat has to be this sort and look like this. And she said this stuff took ages and ages and ages to come to her, and she had trouble with the finances for the property. And she said one day she pulled into a car park, she opened her door of a car, and there's a little puppy stood there. And it was exactly the dog that she'd been asking for. And then her sister phoned and said her son had found this little kitten. And she said, "Is it your kitten? Is it your cat?" And when her sister brought the cat, it was exactly the cat that she wanted. So the universe was showing her, we've got you the cat, we've got you the dog, the house is on its way. So this lady then realised the delays with regard to the new home had all come from her. She created her own delays because she doubted. So the universe jumped in there and sent her the animals. So that was a lovely big sign for her that the house was on its way. And she said, sure enough, everything just fell into place straight after that. So even though things might have not shown up in your life yet, start thanking the universe for them anyway, and never put it in the future, because we don't live there. We don't live in the past, we don't live in the future. We live in the now. So when you're doing your gratitude affirmations, saying, thank you for my lovely new home. Thank you for the swift, smooth, harmonious conclusion to all of the process. Thank you for my lovely new dog. Thank you for my lovely new cat. Thank you for my wonderful new job. Thank you for my really lovely new bosses. Thank you for all my wonderful colleagues. And say it's a health issue. People say, oh, get well soon. Get well now. If you get well now, again, you are saying that you're unwell. You have a lack of well-being. Whereas if you say, thank you for my perfect, vibrant, glowing health. Thank you for my happy, healthy heart. So by placing it in the now, you are acknowledging that the universe has already brought it to you, and your body is well. Your heart is full of joy, full of laughter. Thank you for the laughter. Thank you for the fun. Thank you for the giggles. So as we practice these things throughout the day, so it's not just for Sundays. This work is not just for Sundays. And another thing I heard this morning, a guy who'd been practicing these positive affirmations, look there, for years and years and years, and someone said to him, well, what do you do about people who aren't very nice to you, or want to have an argument, or are upset with you? He said, people don't come into my life like that anymore. And the reason being, he lifted his vibration to such a degree that those of a lower vibration who want to upset, who want to argue, they couldn't come in because they didn't match his vibration anymore. So as we make this change of mind, change of heart, our daily practice, you're sending out that fabulous heart energy to everyone you come across. And they can't help but be affected by it. And what will come back to you are people's situations who reflect that energy back to you. We are a bit wobbly. So I hope you enjoy this video and the beautiful views, and I'd just like to show my gratitude to you guys and my thankfulness for watching and supporting, because if it wasn't for you, this wouldn't be up there. So I hope you'll enjoy the weather. Let your hearts be open. Do everything wholeheartedly. Someone's in a rush. There we go. What's the rush? Yeah. I think they're practicing for the grizzly run. Yeah. Here we are. We've got the allotments all coming back to life. People starting to tickle them up a bit. So lots of love to you all, and I'll see you again soon.